All right, well, it's Tuesday, March 11th, and in Biloxi, Mississippi, the weather is absolutely stellar. So, we had a good day in the bike shop. As far as a lot of people walking through the door, people excited about cycling and outdoor activities. We've got a lot of visitors of the Gulf Coast that came in to see us at Biloxi Bicycle Works today. So, that's always a good way to start out the week. But I did a couple short videos today on the profitability of a bike shop and why bike shops might struggle with some of that stuff. So, really right now, bicycle sales aren't where the dollars are. Yeah, you get a little bit of margin, but there's a lot of work into a bicycle sale. It's service and repair right now that are super important to us. And as springtime comes, we get inundated with service work, and some of that service work poses some challenges in being profitable. I think a lot of industries like the automotive industry, maybe the motorcycle industry, the marine industry have standards, and some of those standard practices have been put in place for years to make sure that those businesses stay viable, that they stay profitable, and that consumers have a good idea of what it's going to cost when they come in the door. For some reason, bicycles have been around a lot longer than automobiles, but I don't think that the bicycle industry has ever really perfected the service side of it. And I've been to some bicycle shops that had awesome service centers. I think things are changing in 2025 just because there's so much to service. So you'll see in two of my videos some of the challenges that we have with service and the bicycle. One, because I might be getting this wrong, but ASC is a standard in automotive repair. In bicycle industry, there's not really a standard. There's not a lot of standard in bikes as far as bottom bracket spacing, derailleurs, brakes. There's so many different little bicycle companies that popped up over the years and did their things their own way. So I remember when I was a kid and I was learning how to work on bikes, you could pretty much take parts off of one bike and put it on another, and it was rare when things didn't fit. Well, nowadays, it's rare when things do fit. When we're working on a bike in the shop, we have knowledge, and especially if it's a modern bike, I can go back. I do work with a company called Trek. Trek has great resources for us to find out basically what parts fit on that model of Trek. As a Trek dealer, I have access to a lot of that, but you'll see in a couple of my videos today where, someone tried to put a 3-speed front derailleur on what should have been a 2-speed front derailleur, and it took my mechanics much longer to notice what the problem was because it doesn't just stick out, It blended in like the derailleur that should have been there, and it takes a while to get through those problems. You'll see in another one of my videos today where a company that we were dealing with to get parts for an e-bike ended up just selling those parts directly to the customer and cut us out of the deal. So both of those things were a little bit disheartening as far as profitability with those jobs goes out the window really quick, and it's hard to claw back. Once you give someone a quote, it's on what should be a fairly standard tune-up on an older road bike turned into more time in that job, which turned into me paying my hourly employee more time and washed the profitability out of the job. With the e-bike situation, once again, my employee took time to call this company and get the right parts in, but then the company contacted the consumer directly and sent them an invoice. So I didn't get to mark up those parts. So you'll see both instances if you stick around and watch the video, but it is getting harder to make a profit. I mean, right now I need a profit coming into my shop this week, and we keep finding these little things that take the profitability out. I mean, I think last week there's 3 or 4 jobs that I did on camera. Those are the only ones I caught on camera. that the profitability went out of the job. So it's tough. On one end, I love helping people with bikes, but we're not a 50c13 charity. You know, I am a for-profit business. In the past, I haven't put that at the forefront of my thought pattern because I want to be a cool bike shop owner and treat people amazingly. And I still do want to be a cool shop owner and treat people amazingly, but I also want to bring some profitability into this business. And it seems like, I don't know, I feel selfish or a bad guy or something trying to do that. You know, even saying this to you guys, my YouTube viewers, like, am I a bad guy because I wanted to mark the e-bike park up a little bit, just like at Toyota or Honda? Or even if you go to your mechanic that works on all cars, you know, he's buying those parts from a part house and he marks them up a little bit and makes some money off the parts. Well, this company, Veloelectric, just bypassed me. And so I've got time into that job I'm not going to get back. Anyway, watch the video. But in the end, I had an awesome day dealing with happy, friendly people in the bike shop. All right, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out. All right, guys, well, it's Tuesday, March 11th, and you saw earlier, you know, the problem we had with that repair bike, how it had the wrong derailleur, and we had to put time into it that we're not getting back. These situations are common. Now, I've got something that's kind of bugging me right now because of a situation that came up today with this repair job, this Veloelectric. This is a customer that came in. They had kind of a misfortunate accident, and they've got some problems with their brake and the cutoff switch. There was an accident, so we need some new parts for this bike, basically. Some of these parts are proprietary to this bike, so we took the time to call up Veloelectric. My mechanic did. My mechanic gets paid by the hour. And surprisingly, they answered the phone and he got through the customer service spider web fairly quick. I'm saying fairly quick, about 20 minutes. In our experience, that's pretty good. And we got someone on the phone that was helpful. They asked for the customer's information. We don't share customers' information with the general public, but since this was the bike, they wanted to look up the correct serial number, model number to make sure that we get the correct parts. So all in all, that interaction went well. I was happy. I asked Dan about this because this is a bike I saw in another YouTube reviewers that say they stock parts in the United States, which makes it shipping and stuff easier for us as a bike shop to get the parts for these bikes and then get them back out of the warehouse. As you can see, I have to pay for a warehouse to store stuff in, so the less we have to store, the better off we are. Now, this is where my problem comes in, is that this company then, rather than sending us the parts, since we are the bike shop who called and requested the parts, of course, then we were going to mark up those parts a small amount to cover our time, and that's just the way you make a dollar when you're doing business. You know, Toyota gets those parts from a warehouse, and then Toyota marks those parts up a little bit when the service department installs them on your car. That's just, it's a business. It's not a 501c charity. And of course, you know, we were only going to mark the parts up a very small amount, you know, a standard amount for the bike shop industry, I should say. Well, we hear from the customer that this company, Veloelectric, went ahead and invoiced the customer for the parts already, without talking to us first, without letting us have a chance to mark up those parts. So now this customer is getting the parts shipped to us. To me, that's not fair of this company here to go ahead and take it upon themselves to cut the bicycle shop out of the deal. In the past, I've never worried about that stuff, but as I'm trying to bring profitability to the bike shop, all these are turning into issues why bike shops have a hard time making money. Of course, we just want to be fair, but we're also not a charity. So, Velotric, next time you step in the middle of a situation like this, call the bike shop first. We're the ones that took our time to call you in order find out what parts we needed. That's bike shop time. That's time that's labor that I paid that now I'm not going to get back because you went direct to the customer and sold the parts directly to this customer. So I had a pretty good opinion of this company from the first interactions. My opinion is not so good now. So next time someone comes in with one of these bikes, I'm not going to be the service center to fix it because you bypassed me. And we're only maybe talking about a few bucks, but maybe enough to at least cover that employee's labor for making that phone call and diagnosing what this problem is. To me, that's not good business. You didn't treat me right. And if I'm wrong, hit me up on the YouTube channel. You guys let me know what you think. Should the bike shop be a 501c3? Or do I want to be able to pay for Dan's labor? You know, so we can go on with the next job and stay alive. So that's just another way that the bike shop is having trouble making money in March of 2025 because of situations like this. And if there were just something that happened every once in a while, but as I'm looking around and trying to bring profitability back into this business, and as you know, I'm a cost accountant, so everything takes time. Time is money, and that money is coming out of my payroll. You know, ask me if I'm wrong to think that that this company Velotric should have invoiced me, the bicycle shop, and then I invoice my customer, and I mark up those parts a fair amount. I'm not talking about price gouging anybody. If I was going to be a price gouger, I wouldn't have got into the bicycle industry. Or should bike shops just be turned into a 501c3 charity? Believe me, if I was a philanthropist, I would own a bike shop for the fun of it. If I didn't have to worry about money, I would love to give these services away. I would love to. I mean, I love bikes that much, and I love people that much that I would love to do this for the fun of it. But it's not fun and games when you're trying to feed your family. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, Biloxi Bicycle Works, trying to be very transparent about these situations and see how you feel. I know at the moment I'm feeling like I got ripped off. My next video I'll try to be a little bit more positive. But this video is another example of why bike shops are having trouble making money. Making $1, you know. Not $100, but making $1. I just lost money on this repair before I even got started. That's the bike shop industry in 2025 of March. How do we correct this?
Get out of the way.
All right. Well, you guys saw me making a little video about this bike the other day. We love seeing these older road bikes come in, especially in spring. That means someone's going to use this bike. But when you talk about the time stealers of a bicycle shop, there's a lot to 8-speed, 9-speed, triple. So Steve was having the trouble getting this front derailleur to shift correctly. Well, Steve's very experienced mechanic, so we had to start diving into it. This is a mountain bike mountain bike double derailleur made for a double chain ring. This chain ring is bigger than this front derailleur was rated for. And it's a 9-speed compared to an 8-speed. So there's a lot to the stuff that you don't see with the naked eye until you start working on it. Like I said, Steve's a meticulous, experienced mechanic, and just walking in, you don't realize that part. It looks factory, looks stock, everything looks correct until you try to work on it. So there's a lot of time stealers in the bicycle shop, and you know, maybe whoever bought this bike, maybe it's a used bike, they bought it off Marketplace or something. So there was no warning that this had been changed. If it's something that you've done, please be honest with your bicycle mechanic. Save us some time, and once again, this is a job that's taken too long now. We've already given the customer the quote, so we're going to eat the labor on it. And you guys have probably heard me say this over and over again over the last few videos that, well, you know, this one, we didn't realize we got to eat the labor. This one, like, here's another job that we're happy to give this back to the customer, but it's one of those jobs that does take extra time. So my dad told me a long time ago, be honest with your lawyer, be honest with your doctor, be honest with your tax accountant, you know. And I'm asking you as a bike shop owner to please be honest with your bike shop and your bike shop mechanic. If you've changed something around, we get a lot of people that come in and say, well, you know, my bike's not shifting or this. They didn't tell us first that they tried to fix it themselves and they swapped parts and they bought a part off of eBay or Amazon. We're finding out that a good portion of those parts right now are counterfeit and they don't work as good. So they take us a longer time to fix and to tune, or sometimes they're not tunable and we're wondering why. There's so many things with the bicycle now and so many different generations. So if you've swapped your front derailleur, and Steve, I probably got this wrong since I'm on camera and these guys are going to fact check me.
That's a triple mountain derailleur, and the customer needs a double road derailleur that can accommodate the 50-something teeth that big ring has.
Right. So there's the fact check, guys. I got it wrong at first, but that's what's going on with this, and that's why it's taken a little bit of extra time. And now we've got to order the part, which we order on Wednesday, so that's good. But it is going to delay this customer's bike just a little bit. But thank you for taking the time, digging into it, finding out what the situation is. That way we can convey that with the customer and make the customer happy in the long run. So be honest with your bicycle mechanics, guys. Steve wants to help, and he can't help if he doesn't know. Or if he takes extra time to dig into the problem that someone probably could have told him in the beginning, hey, we switched front derailleurs, he would have realized then, you know, that...
I didn't meet this customer, so I don't know the backstory. But...
Right. So anyway, in the long run, we're going to be happy to have this bike out on the road because as a bicycle shop, we want to help people. We want to get people out riding, and we want to protect our reputation as well. Like, if they got this back from a tune-up and all of a sudden that front derailleur's not working, they're blaming the bike shop. So in this case, it was someone that thought that they knew what to do, and apparently they didn't. You know, they put a mountain bike derailleur on a road bike that was made for a triple and it needs a double. The cable throw is very important. How much that cable gets either brought in by the lever or let go by the lever, especially with now 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 and 13 speeds. You know, it's very different. Now I like Q's. Q's is a new thing and it is going to help with some of these problems. But this is this could be a solid shifting bike and someone swapped the parts. So anyway, Bartwood Bicycle Rider YouTube here at Biloxi Bicycle Works, just kind of explaining some of the situations that bike shops get into and why this is hard. It's hard to make this a profitable business. Help us out because we want to survive. We want to get your bikes done, and we want everybody to be happy in the long run. We want to charge a fair price. Get the bikes fixed, make a profit for the bike shop. The bike shop sees Steve being a very profitable mechanic, and I can give Steve a raise. Steve loves his dog. I like Sadie a lot too. I want Sadie to have the best food. So, and time. You know, I want Steve to be able to take time to go walk his dog in the evening instead of having to do extra tune-ups or something. So, anyway, we love working on bikes, but there's a lot to it in the background that I don't think that the public sees, and I'm trying to open people's eyes to why bike shops are having a hard time. Time is money. And gonna cut this now, Bartwood Bicycle Rider YouTube.